Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
And we're back.
Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, Lady Journey. Welcome. Well, I did not tell you this, but I have been in the process of auditioning to be the host of a burlesque show.
Seriously?
Yes, it's a Star Wars themed burlesque show, and the only reason I'm telling you this is because by the time this is out, I will have either been selected or I will have been rejected.
Is this for TV?
It's going to be off Broadway starting like in a couple weeks. Yeah.
How did you get offered this job opportunity?
I ended up, I think, submitting for it because I love Star Wars.
I mean, who doesn't? I got into The Mandalorian.
Oh my gosh. I want to see that because I love Pedro Pascal. I'm obsessed with him, as everyone is.
He's having a moment.
He's having such a moment. I actually had a Star Wars themed birthday party when I turned 27. It was the best birthday party I ever had. I invited like tons of comics. A bunch of people came. I dressed as Princess Leia. I made out with a bartender as Princess Leia. And I had like a Star Wars themed cake. It was so great. So I sent in like with my photo, which it's so jarring. I'm like, wow, that was 10 years ago. Like, wow, I look different. Wow, I thought I looked the same and had never changed.
You never think that you are, and then you do look at a photo and you're like, oh. COVID has aged me.
Yeah, ravaged. Yeah, people are like, you look the same. I'm like, I don't.
Thank you.
I just have tiny, tiny little bones. But anyway, so I'm in the process of doing that, and it is coming down to the last moments, and so I will not. There will be no update. Do not ask.
Do you have competition that you know about?
I don't. I do know that there's other people, but I don't know who they are. So I know, and it's like so me to be like, I want something, and if I don't get it, this is it.
Yeah.
Like I'm speeding towards a cliff, but I'm in a great place mentally right now, and I am not doing that. I'm reading a new self-help book, which I'm obsessed with. It's called 101 Ways to Change Your Mind. It's all about like changing the way you think about stuff, which I have been in the process of doing. Sometimes I'm up, I'm down.
Yes.
So I am just like, and that's part of the reason why I'm sharing it here now too, in an uncertain state. It's like, you know what? This would be such a fun and a dream for me, but if it doesn't work out, I'm still going to have an incredible, fun, and amazing summer. I'm okay. I'm okay either way.
I always do that. Like, it's fine. I'll move on. Let's try to forget about it. And then I will start remembering, and I'm like, huh. Okay.
You push it down until you can't push it down anymore.
Yes. And then I get delusional, and I'm like, I know shooting starts tomorrow, but maybe they're very last minute people.
Yes. I know you're like,
I've heard that before.
They've already the series has already aired, but they could be considering me. I know, because they always tell you that. They're like, hey, sometimes you didn't get a call back because you got the job. It's like, that's rarely the case.
Yeah.
That's rarely the case. But yeah, I'm pretty far into the process, and there's one more screening that's happening, which is that they're coming to my shows this weekend.
Oh, that's so nerve-wracking.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I'm feeling good. I'm just doing me. I'm loving my life. I'm going to have fun. But you know what? The thing is, when you get down to the wire with stuff like this, it's like you can always go back and second guess yourself. Like, oh my God, like, should I have said something different in the interview? Like, should I have done something different on stage? It's like you can't control what happens. You know, there's an illusion that you can control things. And there's also the illusion that if you get what you want, you'll be happy. And it's like, it's just not that simple. And I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm releasing and I'm opening myself, but I still hope I get it. But if I don't, I'm releasing. I'm releasing and I'm opening. But so no, fun. It's fun and exciting.
And a lot of the times, I don't know to me if this sounds bitter, but like there have been times where we were rejected, and I have to tell you, I know it wasn't because they didn't think we were funny.
Right.
I just think we were not the aesthetic for the podcast. And that makes me feel better. I know that some people, it's a bummer to maybe, it's not about looks, but I'm just saying aesthetic. So it doesn't mean like we're not attractive enough to be on this podcast. Because we are.
Yeah.
We're the hottest podcasters out there.
Middle-aged
minus
women.
Girls, guys we fucked.
Yeah. No offense.
Every other one. But it's like a lot of times it just boils down to a look.
Yes, boils down to a look.
And that makes me feel better because
you
you're
can't
like,
control it.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, and also this has happened to me too. Like I've wanted stuff so bad. Like, oh my God, if I get on that TV show, that's all I've ever wanted. That will make me complete. That will make me happy. And then maybe you know somebody else who got it, or like JFL or something. And then you realize like, oh, that didn't even make them happy. So why did I think it would make me happy?
Yeah, and I've also the times that like when I did late night. And we have horse flies in
There's
here.
There's a fly in here.
Driving me
Get over it.
Bonkers.
Get over it, YouTube. Please like and subscribe.
Upstage us. If they start podcasting.
This fly, it has more influence than we do.
Yeah.
This fly's like, it has 10 million Instagram followers. Okay.
Lady Journey flies. I will be upset if you guys start an Instagram account. But I have gotten late night, and I have to tell you, it didn't make me happy. And I will tell you the one thing that has made me happy. When I was playing in a soccer league in the last few years, I scored a goal off a corner kick, and that terminology is called an Olympico.
Yeah.
And I still revel off that feeling to this day, more than I have on a late night set.
See, that's what it says in the 101 essays to change the way you think. It said you can't know, emotionally intelligent people know that like you can't know what's going to make you happy. So going after things and being upset that you didn't get it because you think it was going to make you happy, like it's just like a moot point.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
That's our
Lady
podcast.
Journey. And good night. No. But welcome to Lady Journey, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Please give us a review. And please join our Patreon as these wonderful people did.
We're getting more crystals, right?
We are. I'm
excited.
We have a wonderful man who has shipped some crystals to my home. I was like, I can tell I'm depressed because I have been giving out my address very frequently. At first I was like, uh-oh, I don't know him. And then I'm like, what?
Fuck it.
What's he going to do? Kill me? Great.
He's going to come into Manhattan? Good luck.
Yeah. He's going to drive in.
Hellscape.
But
if you come to kill me, you deserve to kill me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Fight the traffic. But he's a wonderful man. He's a listener and he's a stone enthusiast. So more on that when we get the crystals, because they are coming. But for this week, I want to say welcome to a beautiful soul, Erin. Welcome, milady. We are so happy to have you with us. I am donating the carnelian to you. Okay, I love the carnelian. This is one I used to love growing up because it's the stone of actors, and I had
no idea.
Yeah, I would sleep with it under my pillow. Like one day my dreams will come true, then I will be happy. But the carnelian, not just for actors, Erin, this is for stability, grounding, give you a grounding moment, and zest for life. And that's why I am giving this one to you, because I love a little zest. As we know, love a zest.
Spring and zest is happening.
Oh my gosh, summer is around the corner, and we're loving it.
I'm so excited for this.
I love it. And I love our journey that we're going on today. We are going into being in your feminine.
Yeah, I'm tapping into femme energy.
I love this.
It's one of those things where like, this is what I've decided. I'm going to try to be more femme.
I love it.
I do like dressing like a tomboy, but I will add pieces of femme. Like I do love makeup, and I want to wear girly tops.
Yes.
And I like girly shoes, and I love a girly purse.
Ooh.
Or just like girly details. But it's not only that, it's just like I've been into listening to more femme music. Like I've been in a huge Tori Amos kick.
Just all Lilith Fair. Just take me back.
Joe's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just looking out the window while dangling my finger, like scrolling my finger all along it.
That's so femme.
It is.
Having tea and staring out the window.
I don't know what it is. Like when you listen to like, let's say like a Kate Bush or a Tori Amos, I would have to say they are musicians that seem to tap into the feminine energy.
Yes.
And I really can enjoy it sometimes. And people would be like, are you listening to your Les Rockers? And you're like, no. I'm like, I am. And do not bother me.
What of it?
So what?
I love it. My cousin recommended this book to me called Women Who Run with Wolves.
Ugh.
And it's all about tapping into like that deep primal feminine energy. And it's so fun. And I have to say, do not listen to it on tape, because it did take me out of it, because it immediately starts out like, women who run with wolves. Oh! It's like a woman like howling. You're like, okay, Diane, like get it together.
I said feminine, not silly.
Yeah. Like, get goofy, bitch. Now, I'm into femme as well, especially I always feel like so much in my like femininity in the spring and summer. Like I have a long skirt, which I bought. I thought this was going to be a winter skirt, but now I'm just like wearing it every day and I'm loving wearing a skirt. It feels like so, because I have that capsule wardrobe, as you know, and I have been not trying to like add too many pieces, but the capsule wardrobe is actually pretty like androgynous, I realize. And it just,
it's always basics that it can go man or woman.
Yeah, and I'm wearing like
mask.
Levi like no gender jeans, you know, and it's like with the short haircut. I mean, I am wearing makeup and stuff, but with the short haircut, I feel like, oh, I want to like jazz this up, but I don't want to wear heels.
Yeah,
you know? So I've been like, I want to get more skirts too. I want to have a few skirts for the summer that are like airy, breathable, but like a little. I like the silhouette, and I like the thing of like dividing the body into thirds.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, I've been like really into not that I would, but I love long flowy dresses. Like I've been into seeing what Florence of the Machine, whatever Florence.
Oh, I love her
actual name.
I
think
thought
it
that
is.
Oh, her name is Florence,
but I don't know what her last name is.
Nightingale. I love Florence and the Machine.
Which is such a femme name.
Oh,
I know.
God. They are so like
she's femme energy to me.
Just like, yeah, it's so feminine. It's so like raw and sexual, and you're
and
like,
there's
oh
some
my God.
anger involved into it because a man has some masculine
done you
yeah. wrong.
When you listen to that type of music, it's like what you're saying with the window. It just infuses a like magical quality into your life. Like popping that in, going to Whole Foods, it's like, am I the star of my story now? I'm Ally McBeal.
Yes.
In my world.
Well, I remember when I first started doing stand-up, and this is like 20 years ago, and I got like this would come off, I would take it as a compliment, but as I got older, I felt like it was kind of fucked up. They would be like, I like how you're stand-up because you don't really talk about a lot of girl things. And then as I've gotten older, I'm like, a lot of my experiences are just like of, I guess, the feminine mystique. And I think there's a lot of funny stuff there, and I'm like, fuck it. That's what I find funny, and I've kind of stopped catering to like I guess the male stand-up comic.
100%. Because there is like a tendency to say, and we all know this cliche, where it's like women just talk about their periods. It's like, no, we don't. We're afraid.
Yeah.
Because we you know, or like women just make jokes about sex. It's like comics just make jokes about sex. It's the most joked about topic of any gender.
It's really easy to get the whole audience on board when you talk about sex.
It's relatable and it's dirty. And a lot of the reasons people are coming to comedy clubs is because they want to hear something that is, you know, kind of a little bit like naughty, you know, or something that's like subversive in a way. And that's like the shortcut.
It is. But I want to talk more about like how I have to like dislocate my shoulders in order to get out of my sports bra.
Yeah.
Or getting boob sweat, or like I accidentally wear a mint panty liner without knowing, and then I figured it out in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? But these are all experiences that you deal with, I guess, feminine energy stuff that you're like, this is funny, and I think even guys can get into it. But I do notice when I do a set and it's like, say, a predominantly male audience, I don't get we are not connecting.
Yeah,
there are a few guys, not all guys, but they're like
not all men
will understand that if you put mint in your underwear, it will be weird.
Right.
But it's weird that some guys are like,
so men expect it to be catered to them, you know. It's like women we kind of live in this world that's like catered to men all the time. So if a woman goes to a comedy show and the guy is just doing jokes about jerking off on someone's face, like, you know, banging a girl, like he's doing jokes, or like getting a colonoscopy, which as a woman, that is not something that's relatable to me. You know, like we're there fine with it, but like men, they all of a sudden, to them, it's like, well, now this isn't for me as I expect everything to be.
But it's like, it doesn't have to be. That's a lot of guys' mindset. I'm like, can't you just like listen to the other experience, enjoying it? Like that's like kind of the things that I enjoy about stand-up, is listening to another comic's perspective of their upbringing and like where they came from, and racial background, and like their things that they have to deal with, their culture. Like that's funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like open your mind. But that's what I'm like talking about these days of like tapping into femme energy instead of like feeling bad about it. Like I've been really into Marianne Williamson lately. She ran for 2016 and she kind of has I would say like quite a bit of feminine energy for a presidential candidate.
Yes.
But I really like it, and she's so articulate, and I align with a lot of her stuff that she has talked about on her platforms, and I think she seems to be very kind to the human race on both sides. Like, she doesn't demonize the right, which is kind of nice to hear. Not that I align with the right, but I kind of get annoyed just when you watch it comedically.
Counterproductive. Yeah.
It's just like being bashed, and I'm like, I think it's an unfair perspective. Like, these people are also struggling, and you might not agree with what their or whatever platforms they're agreeing with, but they only want it better for themselves. And like, I think we're all in the same place. It's just like I don't agree with that area. So I kind of like that where she's going, and I enjoy that there is a candidate that actually is also tapping into feminine energy.
I think we should have voted for her. I mean, she would have been way better than Donald Trump. Can you imagine if she had been president instead of Donald Trump?
Let's try her for a year.
Let's try her for 1 year, okay? She's got my vote. I mean, she did seem kind of batshit on that.
Little crystally.
She was like, hello, like, good day, like bowing to people at the debate, and you were like, what? But I have to say, like, she is, in terms of like a spiritual teacher, you're like, she's got a lot of emotional intelligence, and she's really, she's not like Teal Swanning it, for God's sakes.
And she's actually quite pragmatic and I just think smart and articulate. I don't think she's that crazy, but it'll be interesting to see her in the long term of what comes more out of her.
Yeah.
Although I saw somebody controversy of like, apparently she's mean to her staff, and I'm like, who isn't? Was it the other woman, what's her?
Oh, Klobuchar.
Klobuchar had throwing binders at people or something.
She seems like she's got arms. I'm like, look at the arms on this lady.
But I also enjoy people like Katie Porter as well.
Oh, yeah?
She always takes down like she's like, all right, let's do the math here. And you're saying that this is a fair wage in your district. And then they're like, oh, I did not know.
Yes. I like that too. I like a gentle takedown.
I like a gentle
take.
Just with facts and math.
Just little facts.
And coming in. But
facts are the feminine.
Yes.
That is the divine feminine.
That is the
we work with facts.
We work with facts. I know we're always saying emotional people, but I have to tell you, in every group dynamic that I've been into, the problem has been boiled down with the male ego.
Yeah, I mean,
it's rare that I've had a woman take down the group.
It is rare, because I think it's just so much more like the divine feminine doesn't necessarily mean like being a more emotional person or like tapping into the femme. That's more just like being in touch with your own emotions. And I think that's why, like, in a group context, usually the women are the ones that are like, okay, like, I'm just not gonna say anything. You know? And meanwhile, like, we're having a meltdown from our boss because he didn't get his tacos. And you're like, okay, Rory.
When I worked at an office, the only ones that were having temper tantrums were the men.
Yeah.
It was wild.
And that's not uncommon. You talk to like a lot of women that work in offices, and they're like, yep, it's a dude.
I know. And we would get shit on. You would get shit on for crying. And then I've got Chris punching holes in the wall. I'm like, that's crying too. That's a different form of crying.
Man crying ruins the drywall. Oh my God.
At least I'm just like lightly tearing up. If you don't look at me, you don't have to deal with it. Yeah. Or I will walk outside for a moment.
Yeah, I'm crying in the bathroom like a grown woman.
I've always been like that with like when they say like women have daddy issues. It's just like we're blowing everybody. And then when guys have daddy issues, they're like killing people. I'm like, I'd much rather have the woman that's just like
doing a favor for the community. Yeah, but now I think there's like a lot of like misconceptions about like what it means to be feminine, because I know like there's so much weird stuff out there, especially on
arbitrary,
TikTok.
I think, and gender norms are always changing. But
yes,
I rule in the like probably in the world of the I would say like Greek mythology of
receiving.
Yes.
You know, like being open to your intuition. You know, like again, flowing fabrics,
vibes,
lip liner. Yeah. It's funny. It is funny in a way because, you know, I always growing up, I've always loved, I'm like, get me a calendar of baby animals, okay? Yes. Because I love it. And I think to me that I'm like, that's my femmergy.
Yes. And that in the office seems like that kind of stuff gets like looked down upon, but I'm like, why?
Get Lisa Frank in here.
That's why we were talking about that with like movies, like, and pop art. Like I've loved Dolly Parton because I always feel like she's a strong person that's never shied away who she was and always used strong feminine energy.
Big hair, tits, glitter, like super feminine, but all the time. Heels, you know,
but like just as smart as anybody else out there. Like, because we've always had
a businesswoman, a mogul.
I think it's always been like told to like you need to have more masculine energy to have success, and we talking about that with like a lot of female comics that I find that are successful or have been in the past. It's really what they did was like take the energy of a man comic and then do it for themselves. And I've always been more impressed with like a feminine comic.
People who can be authentic to themselves, which is actually a challenge because who knows who they are.
Yeah, exactly. Where like Legally Blonde is I think a really good example of like feminine energy being very quite positive,
super powerful. Yeah. And then, you know, I love in Legally Blonde too. I think it's like, first of all, what an amazing title for a film, you know. It's so like perfect. But it's really amazing in Legally Blonde because she's underestimated by the man, you know. And then she's like, she shows him big time, and it's so satisfying. And I think that is like the maladaptive fantasy of so many women, that it's like you getting like
Well, Clueless is kind of the same way too, because like she's always seen as stupid, but it's only because her information is she's getting it from Macbeth, made by Mel Gibson.
Yeah, right.
But you're like, but you're still, that's what sometimes I feel like we're perceived as stupid but we're getting our information that's not like from Wall Street
from
Journal.
TikTok. Yeah. Well, there's like a difference. Like there is a big, I think this was more last summer on TikTok, but there was a thing of like these women that are like very kind of like male, men's rights activists in a way where it's like, I was in my feminine and I just started going further into my feminine, and then a man wanted to buy me a car, then he wanted to marry me, and now I don't have to work and I stay at his home. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, you know, I think there is more success supposedly in couples that either have like traditional gender roles or like radically non-traditional gender roles in their relationship. So it's like, I guess that could work out for you. But I think like more to me, the feminine, like I read this great book called, oh my God, I'm blanking on it. I have to look for it. I have to look for it right now.
Okay.
I'm going to look for this book. It was like a really transformative book, and now we can't even remember the author. Okay, well, skip it.
Well, I'll put an asterisk in. Once you remember, I'll put it here as a title over it.
Yeah, we'll put it as the title of the episode. It was a book about like masculine energy is like, and she was like, I'm just using this because this is the way these types of energies are traditionally referred to. And it doesn't mean like
they're arbitrary.
They're arbitrary. And we each have all of them in us.
Yes.
And like the masculine
men and
is like
women.
Men and women. The masculine is like going after stuff, doing stuff, being active, like getting business, taking care of it, being done. And it's like that could be called something different, like yellow energy or something.
Yes.
Like the feminine energy is like receiving, listening, like getting in touch with your surroundings, like perceiving intuitively. And I think there's something cool about that, to be like, I want to have a time in my life where I'm just like getting more in touch with my feminine energy.
Yes.
And at the same time, like spoiling myself with cupcakes that are pink and have unicorns on them, because why do I love that shit? I do not know.
I know. It is really fascinating because it is hard, because I've been using the terminology femme, but you're just like, what? Nowadays, I feel like it is hard to describe what really it is, because it is arbitrary. Like, it was fascinating to me that pink used to be the color for boys.
Yes, and then now it's just like we're like, how dare you put my baby boy in pink? Yeah, what are you saying?
Or like I think about like some people pierce their baby's ears. You're like, why? Is that to establish, you know, what the gender is?
Yeah, unless it's your religion, in which case we are not commenting on it.
I didn't know that.
That is your right. No, I don't think it is.
Oh, okay. But it could be.
Just in case. As a
We're
disclaimer.
covering all of our bases.
But I know it's like the feminine, you know, the feminine doesn't have anything to do with your gender, your choice, your, it's like straight guys.
Yeah, or sex or anything.
Straight guys can love Drag Race, and they do.
And yes.
And we love it.
I think men can enjoy Real Housewives because it actually is sports and it's tactical. It's emotional, tactical warfare.
I know. It's
impressive.
Yes, it is.
It's chess for the mind.
Yes, it is. Truly. It is like a military operation. Well, I think it's funny too because I think a lot of times the guys only feel safe to like go into that feminine space when they're like with their girlfriends. It's like that's what we're talking about. Like guys love like the way like girlfriends like make up like our home is like so girly. It's like it's cute in here.
And guys actually like that kind of decor. I think they find it cozier
and nice.
Yes. And I think it in a weird way makes them feel masculine.
Yes, because they're like, I'm the king.
Yes.
I'm the king of this bed with 18 pillows.
I did have a boyfriend once that he didn't mind putting on a robe.
Cute.
Which we found out when our live Jay McBride, she likes putting on a robe. And
yes.
I'm like, I've never really thought about it, but I'm really into the robe journey.
Culture. Robe culture. So in.
And he would, after a shower, put that on, and he did enjoy listening to having Tori Amos. And there was not one. I was just like, I love that.
Oh, I love it. Tori Amos, a little bathrobe, a little candles.
I know, when a guy bends a little bit.
Oh,
yes.
Such fun.
Hot.
It is because
weirdly,
when a guy is into feminine stuff, like a straight guy, when he's into feminine stuff, you're like, oh my God, you're really secure in your identity with yourself that you don't feel like
you're not subjected,
afraid, you know? Oh, I love it.
Impressive.
I love it. So go on your feminine journeys, everybody.
Guys,
go.
My dad would do mani-pedis with me.
Oh my God, get a mani-pedi. I saw 3 guys at the nail salon yesterday when I went in, and I was like, you go, girl.
Y'all's nails are nasty.
Although one guy was creepy. He came in and he was like, my wife has been ignoring me. It's like, sir, you're
not a king.
Yeah, we get it. Okay,
you do it
leave
yourself.
us alone. You're like subjecting all the people in here to your dysfunction, but
it's a quiet place in there.
I've been on a journey recently, which I'm really excited about. I just went to Montreal, which was so fun.
Montreal's fun because if you can't afford to fly that long to Paris, you can get a little bit in Montreal. And
it's the Europe of the Midwest.
I don't want to yell. Yes, it's the Europe of the Midwest. I don't want people to yell at me. I think Mateo has a bit about it is not Paris.
Oh my God, funny.
And you're like, I know, but can we at least can pretend a little bit, right?
You can pretend a little bit. Well, they have healthcare there, so it does feel European.
Yeah, and I love how they fight the American culture.
Oh, they have their own culture.
You can't call it it has to be La Starbucks or something.
Yes, it is. I love Montreal. I think it's a beautiful city. It has a unique culture, and it's also interesting because it is unique to itself. It's not like they're trying to be European. It's like, no, we have our own thing.
Yeah.
So I went there. I was performing at the Comedy Nest. I saw an amazing journeyer who came to the show. Shout out. Thank you for coming. And actually, what is so crazy is that I was there, and then literally a week later, they had a brutal ice storm that took the power out for 300,000 people. I looked at.
Oh my God, how fun though.
Yeah, I know. Oh, cozy, stuck in.
I know. I have to say, I do enjoy a natural disaster if no one's getting hurt.
Yes, love a little ice storm. But it was so fun, and I had the best time. So I've been to Montreal a couple times, and I have to say, I think that this is an amazing city to go on vacation to, a winter vacation, a girls' weekend. There's so much to see and do, and it's so beautiful, and it's so different.
Yeah, I enjoy it. You can hike Mount Royal, which is kind of what the city is kind of named after, right?
Yeah, it's around a giant hill, and it's kind of just all kind of forms around it. It's a smallish city. I think they have a little bit over a million people. Maybe it's up to a couple million with the surrounding area. But so I went. Everyone kept being like, "Oh my God, are you going to the Sugar Shacks? Are you going to the Sugar Shacks?"
Had no idea. You just told me this today, and I was like, I've never heard of this, and I don't know about this. I would also assume this is kind of a Vermont culture.
Yeah, this has got to be a Vermont thing too. But I did not realize, and I was so excited to be there at this time. But it's I guess it's called sugar season or Sugar Shack time or whatever the local language is. But it's this time of the year, late March. And they even have a whole like festival. It's a whole thing where they tap the trees to get the syrup, the maple syrup. And so they have these, they're called sugar shacks, and they're like all kind of situated just right outside the city limits. And I didn't realize it's something like 90% of all the maple syrup in the world comes from literally this area right here.
I had no idea.
Isn't that cool? You're like, oh my gosh, we're right there.
Yeah, I have so much maple syrup, I cannot finish it. For some reason, we forget that we have it.
Yeah.
And then we buy it.
I stock up. It's one of the best natural sweeteners that you can use. It has like so many vitamins and minerals, and I think it's like the one that's least likely to spike your blood sugar.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's always used in a lot of holistic stuff.
It's some
cleanses.
It's so tasty. And I didn't go to a sugar shack, which I did want to, but it was like too far. But the sugar shack is actually like, you go to like a shack that's literally in the middle of a forest pretty much. You have like a traditional Canadian breakfast, which is like ham and like split pea soup and that. No. And then you're supposed to like just dump it with maple syrup.
Split pea?
Yeah.
Well, I like
over
pea
the whole meal
with a little sweetness.
I love a split pea.
I've been craving peas lately, and I think it's because of the spring.
Oh, yeah.
I want a pasta with peas in it.
Oh, my God. Primavera.
Yes.
Yum. But I did go to a pop-up sugar shack, and I got the maple leaf candy. I did not get the taffy, which is them like they just pour the syrup onto ice. I was like, oh, I thought there
like
was
a saltwater taffy almost.
Yeah, I thought it was like a what we would consider a taffy. But I got a lot of syrup. I got the sugar candies, and so it was so amazing and fun.
That's my new favorite thing now when I travel. Is I told you, not only ladies making soap in town, but jams.
Oh my God.
I like getting honey.
Jams.
Local honeys and jams.
All the local stuff. I wanted
culinary delights I like.
Yeah, my passion is spending money in towns.
Yeah,
that's what I've decided. Well, on this trip, I also we wanted to shop around. I was there with my aunt, who is so lovely. She came with me to the club, and we just had the best time. We had so much amazing good food together, and we got recommendations from the other comics at the club. So we had like this place called like Lucky Walk. It was like hole in the wall Asian fusion, and it was so good.
They have a lot of ethnic backgrounds that have settled there.
Yes.
So you do get good cuisine, because I remember getting really great Greek food there.
Yeah. I also went to a Persian tea parlor and had like a classic Persian tea and like a saffron rice pudding.
You know, sometimes when people are like anti-immigration, I'm like, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to have hamburgers? Like, come on.
Mac and cheese all the time.
Please.
Give me some variety.
Oh.
Thank you.
We had the best food. I actually stayed one more day, and I did like a 24-hour lady getaway with my aunt, which was so fun. We went to Bora Bora.
Y'all are the same age, right? Close?
We are about 9 years apart.
Okay. That's still close to the same generation.
Yeah, we're pretty close. When you're like young, it seems like a big deal, but then when you're in your 30s and 40s, you're like, oh, we're the same age.
Yeah.
We're the same age exactly. So she's like such a perfect fun person to travel with, because she like came to the shows, like she had a great time, and then it was so awesome to have like a person there with me that I could actually explore the city with, instead of just like eating at a diner in the corner, like sad.
Well, yeah, I've gone to some great cities, but it's for comedy, and I'll be by myself, and I'm like, I learned this young when I travel. I lived in Cambridge for about 3 or 4 months, thinking like I was gonna just have these moments, and I just realized things suck. You have to go do stuff with friends.
Yeah, it's hard to be alone, and you're like, I'll take myself out for a drink, and now you're like, I'm drinking alone again. Here I go.
You're like, I need some conversation, and I need some validation of like how great what we're doing.
Yeah, it's so much more fun when you have a friend to experience it, I have to say. And I've done like travels alone, and no shame.
No,
but
some people can do it, and kudos to you. My sister says she likes to do it, and she likes to pretend she's Jason Bourne.
Oh, I love it. Just karate chopping away.
You're on a mission.
Well, I had a 24-hour lady getaway. This was our full day. We stopped off at this really cute little it was like a food gift parlor, so I could get my croissant.
Yes.
My croissant was amazing. I know everyone says like they're very into the bagels in Montreal, And I did not get a bagel, but I did get a croissant because, as you know,
Yes.
I love it. I love my croissant.
You had a little French Canadian culture.
Ugh, it was delicious. And then we went to Boda Boda, which is the spa there. It is, I have to say, like, I cannot recommend the spa enough. We were talking with our
It's
friends.
well known. Every
Yeah.
time I've gone, I've been told you have to go check it out, and I have yet to. And I think the next time I go, I will definitely do it.
It is not expensive. Like, you think it's expensive. I think it was about $200 for a massage and going into the spa, but that was Canadian money.
Yeah.
So then you're like, I got a massage, an hour massage, and a full day for like 4-hour spa day, and it was $160.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
not bad.
And it's a huge spa. It's like Spa Castle if it were nice.
I know. I've been to Spa Castle, and I felt like I was in Hunger Games.
Spa Castle is a little run down.
It's so weird.
Yeah, you're like, where are we?
With Ashley once, and first, like, she didn't give me a heads up that the first floor was it's all women, and you have to be naked.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I have never been fully naked with a friend.
Yes, I went there with a friend.
I got used to it really fast, but it
Yeah.
was jarring where I
Yeah.
was like,
You have to go away in your mind. You're like, I'm not here. I'm not here. But you know, it's funny because like I had gone there and I had never even gone to like a women's locker room at a gym really. But you're like, the eye drifts. I'm like, wow, those titties are weird.
we're all weird.
We're all weird. Like,
Yeah.
wow, that your labia is really long. Good for you, ma'am.
I didn't know nipples came that big.
Yeah.
It's so wild, but you do get over it, and it was so and then once you get past that, and it's like tons of different kinds of warm water areas, and then a cold dip area, and then the next floor was like, then you're in like a hot teepee.
Oh yeah, the stones,
The steam.
the red light, the infrared, you know.
And then there's tons of people, and it's weirdly quiet.
Yeah, I went to Spa Castle. The first time ever I went there, like 2 days later, they found a dead body.
Yes, I
that had been
remember
there
that.
like overnight, and it wasn't like a foul play situation. It was just a man that had died in there. But it was like, why did no one find him?
Because there's no lifeguards.
There's no lifeguards. That's what they need. But Boda Boda is not that.
Yeah,
So-
Boda Boda seems like the Spa Castle is capitalism. Boda Boda is socialism.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
like quiet wood.
It's beautiful. Part of it is on a floating boat, and then they have these other parts where it's like you get the bathrobes. It's very, very nice. It's very clean. It's gorgeous. There's like plenty of space. And so when I went, this is why I say go during this sugar time. You know, go for the sugar season because you can get the maple syrup. You get all that, and then we went to Boda Boda. It was about 35 degrees outside. So we walk there. We like had our croissant. We were like walking there more. We're freezing. And
Yeah.
we go in and then we immediately went into the steam room and it was just like jasmine and lavender and it was so
God.
warming and healing. And then it was like snowing, but we're just sitting in the hot tub feeling so warm and hot that it was just like the most picturesque, healing, wonderful experience, and it was so fun.
It does feel like you should go there when it's extremely cold outside.
You have to. I mean, I guess a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, it probably won't be crowded since the weather's bad." I'm like, I wouldn't like it that much in the summer. Like, I don't want to go into an intense steam room,
Yeah.
you know. And the pools were like all heated too.
I want to see the quiet snow falling while I'm in a hot tub
Oh,
with
and
my aunt.
with my aunt. They have a place on there too where you can go into the sauna, and then there's a cold plunge where you can literally go right into the river. And
I
my
love
aunt
the
did
cold
it.
plunge.
She was really into I could do like up to like one. I would put like an arm in. I'm like, okay, my arm will be really my
Yes.
skin will be nice on one arm.
I like the jump in and then going back into the hot tub.
Oh, what a
Yes.
plunge. Oh, it was so fun. And so then
Did you eat?
we did not eat there. We were going to, but you had to eat in your bathrobe, and we were just like, no. Like, let's
Yeah.
just move it along. We went then to Old Montreal, which is just a short walk from there. And so we like walked Old Montreal. We got in, did some shops. We got to the Sugar Shack, like the pop-up. And then we ended up, now this is where we went a little wrong because I wanted to go to this restaurant called L'Express, which is like supposed to be one of the most like well-known, cheap, good French restaurants there, but I did not make a reservation.
I know. I find these days everywhere you go, you have to call ahead.
Yeah. And I tried to look like 2 weeks before and they were already booked out.
Yeah.
So
it just feels like everywhere is overpopulated. I think because of TikTok and like social media, once something gets out, then people just go.
Yes. And I did find this on lists. It was on like every list. So it was like, of course, this is like the place. So, you know, sometimes on a trip, you have that moment where it's like you're teetering on the brink where it's like, we're very hungry. It's getting late. We need to eat. We don't know where we're going. We like went into a crepe place. We looked at the menu. We're like, no, I'm sorry. We had to like dash out like we just like blew up the bathroom or something, which we didn't. We're like, sorry. And then we found an amazing place that was called Gaspar's Tavern, which was a little bit expensive, but it was like the perfect nice restaurant. I had the most amazing. It was like risotto with squash and pumpkin seeds and tons of Parmesan.
Warm and cozy.
And I had a French onion soup.
I love French onion soup.
I love it.
It takes forever.
You
have to cook down those onions.
I've never made it, and I don't think I would be able to because it just seems like too many steps to me.
No, and it does seem labor intensive.
Like have those special things, the special little ramekin where you like fire the top of it to melt the cheese.
You go through what is it, Gruyere?
Yeah. Oh, the Gruyere.
Gruyere is great. Gruyere with ham. Fuck
yeah,
I
dude. Love that.
Yeah.
Oh, cheese journey.
Cheese journey. And then did you go to Schwartz?
Oh, that's right. So the next day we went to the Plateau. We had a little coffee and we walked along Mount Royal, and there's a school over there.
It's a decent walking city, right?
I think
I've walked it a lot.
Yeah, I love walking there.
Yeah.
It's a really good walking city. There's some uphill, but you know, I think the best thing to do is like to go to a town and like I don't like to mess around with public transportation. Like I can't read French. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to learn in a day.
No.
Just walk everywhere. We went to Schwartz's, which is like that's their Cat's Deli basically. It's like smoked meat. It's amazing and it's so good. So that was like the perfect little, because we had a late flight out.
That one place is also very packed.
It was packed.
Yeah. But Cat's Deli is like that too. I don't think I've ever attempted Cat's Deli.
Cat's Deli, I went there several times when I was tour guiding. Now I would not go there because it's just so expensive.
Yeah. Also, I don't need a stack of meat.
I know it's
big.
$25 for a sandwich that you can't finish. It's like, just give me half.
Yeah. Can I get it? Or just split it with your whole family. Do they let you one sandwich for family. $7?
They have a Schwartz. They have a Schwartz on 3rd Avenue, which I think is a great New York City stop, and it's table service. Cat's Deli, it's like the counter.
Oh yeah.
Or you can do the table, but it's like a little more. I don't like to do the counter there because it's like you're frantically like, you search for a table.
Panicking.
I'm gonna get the pickles. You know, it's a little stressful. But I have to say I really enjoyed Schwartz in Montreal, and like their smoked meats are amazing and they're so delicious. So I had a lot of different cultures. I had some French, I had Asian fusion, I had the Jewish food, and then I guess the risotto kind of Italian. Oh, I'd love to get a kebab.
Yes.
And we had a couple brunches there too, but it was just so amazing. I love Montreal. I recommend you guys go there for a trip.
Yeah, it's cool.
Good walking city.
Joe and I we did Montreal, and then this was during the summer, and then we decided to drive to Maine, so we cut through the border of Vermont.
Ooh.
And it was so fascinating because we got to drive through the countryside of Canada outside of Montreal, and you're like, it's just French.
Oh,
no one speaks English, and then even on the border of Vermont, carrying into the state of Vermont, you were still getting French-speaking people in Vermont.
It's so interesting.
I love seeing that because you're like, why would it stop just immediately at the border?
Right.
Yeah. And it was really beautiful countryside too, that I was like, that is something to check into maybe if you're into that.
It's nice because I think we just get used to things being so homogenized, you know, like even when I go to Aruba, it's like everything is kind of in English there, and it's like catered to American.
Long Island and Boston people that are there, and you're like, I'm trying to fucking get away from you guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what you got to do? You're like, no, I already know what I got to do.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
Leave me alone, Ray. Ray Donovan. But everybody, we
go to Montreal.
Go to Montreal and give us a subscribe on Patreon or YouTube or iTunes.
Yes,
we love you all. Lady Journey.
Lady Journey.